What's up, everybody? My name is Chad. You're watching Downshift Pass. And boy, we got a hot one today. This is the 2023 Audi E-Tron GT. That's right, folks. I got the GT model of the famed E-Tron series from Audi. Of course, I'm going to go over the exterior, the interior, go for a drive, do an audio test. And if that's something that you are interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so I can continue to get more cool content for you to watch. All right, let's dive right in. All right, folks, I'm starting with the exterior of the E-Tron GT. I just had to do a walk-up on it first because, I mean, look at this thing. It is truly stunning. Now, as we move along to the front end here, let's start with these headlights here. As you can see, I have those turn signals going. That is your daytime running light as well as your turn signal, so it doubles as the turn signal. All LED, of course. These headlights are what Audi calls their laser light system, so it does everything you could think of. This is a $120,000 car, so I mean, it has all the headlight technology that you could think of. Now, as we move along to the center of the vehicle, no grille in sight here because it doesn't need it. This is an all-electric vehicle, so it doesn't have a need for a grille. But down below here, you'll see sensors for all your driving functions, camera functions, and that's about it as far as openings. You do have some air inlets here as well as on the side to aid in the aerodynamics of the vehicle. But just take a look at that front end. It's so menacing. It's just very awesome looking. Now this two-tone situation that you see here is standard on the GT. I think it looks really awesome against the white color of this vehicle. If it's something that you don't want to have on your particular vehicle, you can get an all black one and then it kind of makes everything just one color. But I think you want to go for something to help it look even more dynamic. Now, as we move along to the side of this limousine-like vehicle, you'll kind of notice it looks a little bit like a Taycan, Porsche Taycan, especially right up here. I mean, this is the sister vehicle to the Taycan, so that is to be expected, but this is the prettier sister in my opinion. But let's take a look at these wheels here. It is a staggered setup. So up front you have 245, and in the rear you have 285, a massive tire back here. Wheel design is okay. This is a 20-inch. You can go smaller and you can go a lot larger. The RS also has a different wheel design if you decide to step up to the RS, but honestly, I think this is just all the car you need. You do have your black mirror caps here, as well as your turn signal on the mirror caps. And as we move along to the back, this is probably my favorite angle of the car. I don't know if it shows very well, but look at the haunches in the rear here. That really shows pronounced as you move along to the rear of the vehicle. It looks so amazing back here, guys. Now this is an LED turn signal system as well. So you have your LED bar, LED brake lights, LED turn signal. Everything, of course, is LED back here. You do have your E-Tron GT badging, Audi badging up top. And believe it or not, you'll see this piece right here. This is a spoiler that automatically deploys, I believe at 30 or 40 miles an hour. I'll put it down below on the screen. Bing. But that's when it deploys automatically up and down. Really awesome to see in action. And as we move down below is where you'll take a look at the rear diffuser here. Now, of course, it doesn't have any exhaust pipes. It has no need to. Again, this is a fully electric vehicle, but the car does make awesome sound. So let's go ahead and listen to that now. Just going to admire it one more time. But what did you guys think about the sound of the E-Tron GT? It sounds really amazing on the outside and actually pretty awesome on the inside too. So make sure you stick around for the drive so you can take a listen to it with me. Now, as far as inside goes, let's talk about entry. Here is your key here. It does say E-Tron on the back. And then on the front here, you have your lock, push 2 times for your trunk, and then your unlock button. Of course, if the key is in your pocket, you can just walk up to the vehicle and on the handle, and it will it's unlocked now, but it'll unlock. If you want to lock it, you just push here Mirrors fold, makes a nice little noise to let you know it's locked. Again, hand behind the handle to unlock here, and then that's how you gain entry into the inside of the vehicle. Now let's take a look at the trunk here. We'll push 2 times. It is power operated, which is a nice little feature to have. And back here is an okay sized trunk. It is low and does have kind of a high step up if you want to throw something in there, but it does go pretty deep, and you do have some useful storage back here. So on either side you do have these kind of bins here that you can drop things in. You can actually lift this up and you have a little bit more storage space as well, but enough to throw about 2 suitcases back here, and that's about it. Now you might see this here. I thought this was actually to fold down the seats. The seats do not fold down, but if you have groceries, you do have a nice grocery hook to put them on, so they're not sliding around and messing up your $120,000 vehicle. Now if you want to close the trunk, push the button here. Again, power operated, shows off that beautiful exterior. Now this car does have a frunk. It is an electric vehicle. A frunk, if you do not know, is a trunk in the front basically. Took me forever and a day and then Google to figure out where it is, because there's no latch here. You do have a button here, but this is for the power operated trunk in the back. Google let me know that it's actually here on the driver's door, which, wow, right there. But you just push this button once here, it pops open that front. I'm gonna move on up here and try to open this with one hand. I've had a little practice, so let's see. Boom. And there's your front here, guys. So again, nice large area, nice small space, which is kind of the theme of this vehicle. But stick around for the interior and I'll show you. But this is it, guys. This is actually the bag that the charging cords come in. So you see it fits perfectly down in there. Pretty deep bin as well. You could fit maybe an overnight bag, something very small is going to go back here. Then you have, of course, your accessory things here. But as far as space to put stuff, that's about all you get. Make sure you want to close this gently. All right, folks, now let's hop into the interior of the GT, and I'm going to start in the back because this is going to be quick, folks. All right, so again, I'm 5'8". I currently have the driver's seat in a position that I would be in, and as you can see, knee room is okay, leg space is all right, but under the seat, not much space at all. Once you close the door, it really kind of compacts everything as well. Seat comfort, top tier, really comfortable seats back here. What's the saving grace is this really huge roof back here. Really nice. Now it's no shade for it at all. You could be sitting back here, it could be high noon, and I mean, you won't be sweating or anything. It'll be okay for you. Now, of course, you do have climate controls. This car does have a driver and passenger separate climate control system. And then in the rear, you also have your own climate control system. You actually have the car off, but you have your own climate control system here, as well as heated seats, 2 vents. And as we move along to the side here, first of all, take a look at these seats because they are beautiful. Love them, especially in this red leather. But you have your armrest back here, 2 cup holders, and honestly, that's about it. It is space for 5. I would not be back here with 5 people. 4 maximum. Also 2 hours maximum is all I would probably want to be back here for. One really weird thing, this car does have a transmission hump. During the drive, I'll talk more about the transmission that the car kind of has. It's a 2-speed, but again, we'll talk about it. You do have a large transmission hump, which really impedes on the space back here, especially for your feet to spread or do anything. So that kind of hurts the interior space in the rear as well. But let's go ahead and hop into the front and just take a look at what I like to call a cockpit. It really feels awesome in here, like you're sitting actually inside of the vehicle, not on top of the seat or anything, that you're sitting inside, which is really nice. I want to start with this door panel here. Now you do have a nice soft touch leather here that also is stitched. You do have a carbon like material here as well. cut this radio down, don't want to get sued. You do have your nice suede material leather here that's in the red, the same as the seats here, and it's what, about 5 different materials here, but it really just works. Take a look at it from the passenger side. You have all those materials, but it just looks really nice, really expensive, and above all else, it feels really, really good. Audi definitely knows how to choose materials. Now let me go ahead and cut the car on. You do have a start stop button here to bring everything to life. The car was off. I'm going to cut it on here. Now, of course, you do have your fully digital gauge cluster here, which you have a couple of different options to change the view of it. So right now that's like the full map view, or you can make the speedometer and charging tachometer would be there, but you know, electric vehicle, you can make that a little bit larger. One thing that I think was a missed opportunity for Audi was when you do press your different drive modes, it doesn't change anything in a gauge cluster, and I thought that would have been really awesome to see. This is efficiency mode. It turns green there. Comfort looks normal. Dynamic looks the same. So I think that's something that Audi could have maybe stepped it up a little bit more with. Now, taking a look at this steering wheel, I usually don't spend time on this, but it is a comfortable, nice perforated leather. You do have, as you can see, your paddles here. These are not necessarily paddle shifters, but they're for the regenerative braking. I was practicing that word so many times, I didn't want to mess it up. I pat myself on the back for that, but it's for the regenerative braking here. You do have your plus and minus on either side. This is a heated steering wheel as well, and of course all your steering wheel controls here for your audio as well as the system right in front of you. Now, as we take a look at the infotainment screen here, it's a pretty nice size. Could we want for larger? Yes, we could, but it's a really good size to not distract you and everything. This is really a driver-centric, driver-focused interior. So you want to drive. You don't want to play with all the goodies here. One thing I love that Audi actually did was kept the climate controls separate from the infotainment system and gave you hard buttons. Here's looking at you, Porsche Taycan. These are the little things that I think make this vehicle the better option than the Taycan to me, on top of, I mean, how it looks, of course. But these are your climate controls here. You do have heated as well as cooled seats, and then of course all your hard buttons to control everything here. So this is not a touch screen. This is actually hard buttons that control this screen here. This is your drive select button here, traction control, hazard lights, of course. This button here is a camera button. Now this camera button, when you throw it in reverse, of course it normally pops up, but you could use this camera button if you're just trying to see what's going on the outside of your vehicle. You do have a 3D function here, which looks really cool, and it corresponds with what you're doing. So brake light shows up. If you do the turn signal, that shows up. And it's actually amber on the screen, which of course, you know, in the United States we don't get amber because for some reason they like to not give us the fun stuff, but it does show up for you as well. And then moving along to the bottom here, or moving along down here, you do have your nice cubby space, and also this is your transmission selector here. Very easy and very simple to use. Go back for drive, one up for neutral, all the way up for reverse. I don't know if you can see that there. And can you hear the car come to life? I don't know if you can, but it sounds really nice. And then of course you have your park button here. This P right here is for the self-parking function that the car has. So once you're driving, you could just push that and it will come up. You do have your 2 cup holders here as well, and a nice small storage space here, your center console, and then your glove compartment. It is damp lined with felt, of course, because luxury, $120,000. What else would you expect? But it is small. Again, a theme of this car: large space, small space. So you do have that there. Nice E-Tron badging here, which lights up at nighttime, which looks really awesome because you can change the color of the whole ambient lighting system in this vehicle. Make sure you check out my night drive for that. And honestly, folks, that's about it for the interior of the E-Tron. I know why you are here. You know why I'm here. Let's go for a drive, guys. Let's have some fun. All right, folks, sitting out here in the Audi E-Tron GT, the four-door sedan version of the E-Tron series from Audi. And man, oh man, as you can tell, it's quick. It is an electric vehicle, so of course it's going to have that instant acceleration, instant torque, just a lot of power here. Now, speaking of power, this car does have 469 horsepower, so quite a bit to work with here, and it does have that quattro all-wheel drive, so it does a really good job of putting that power down all at once. I haven't experienced any wheel spin, any wheel slippage, or anything like that since driving this vehicle. Now, this is a rather heavy vehicle too, but believe it or not, it carries its mass surprisingly well. It just doesn't feel like as much as it weighs, which is one thing I really appreciate. You know, a lot of electric vehicles out there can have a lot of power, that very hard acceleration, that instant torque, but the suspension just does not handle it well. But, you know, Audi being definitely intentional with their sporty vehicles, this being one of them, they did a really good job of how it handles it. Now, when I accelerate, especially hard here, at about 50 or so miles per hour, you feel an additional oomph, like another kick in the seat with that acceleration. And that is actually that 2-speed transmission that I was explaining to you guys a little bit earlier. And basically the way it works is that first gear is for acceleration, it's for that hard acceleration, is for that instant acceleration for you to do over and over and over again. And then when that second one kicks in, that's still accelerating very hard, but that's more of just like the driving gear kicking in to kind of aid in continuing that power. As you know, a lot of electric vehicles, or if you didn't know, a lot of electric vehicles, as you're accelerating hard, the power just kind of dies off. But this 2-speed transmission that they have in the E-Tron is there to keep the power going, and it does a really nice job of that. Now, seat comfort, and can you hear that? Oh, I just love the way this sounds, and I'm so surprised that I do. Whew. Now, seat comfort in this car is really good. It has nice bolstering without being completely uncomfortable, but once you're in the corners and everything, it just feels really nice. It's a nice soft leather. The seats are heated and cool, as well as power adjustable. Of course, I believe it's 16-way. One really awesome feature of this particular E-Tron, which is fully loaded, it has pretty much every option that you can get. The full leather package, it has everything. Is you do have massaging seats on this vehicle, and oh my gosh, I think it's about 8 or 9 different settings for the massaging seats, so you have a lot of different options to play with for your massaging seats, which is really neat. And let me see here, I love the infotainment system here. It's very easy to use, very quick also. Get to here, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pretty much 8 different ones. You can also control the intensity on the massage seats, so that's really awesome. This B-pillar does get in the way, but I'm going to go up here and we're going to get on the highway and do a little bit of highway driving here. Let that car get a little bit. I do have it in a dynamic mode. We're going to do a little highway pull. Oh. Good acceleration, good brakes. The brakes here, when you are at normal speeds, when you're driving on the street, they're a little touchy in my opinion, a little grabby. You do have to get used to them. But when you need to bring it down, when you need to bring the speed way down from highway speeds, especially when you're going so rapidly, they actually do a really good job of bringing the car down in a nice, comfortable way. All right, now Now driving along on the highway here with the massaging seat going, just very, very comfortable. This thing is a vault. I mean, it is just, this is really what the Grand Touring is all about, or you're using that GT moniker for a vehicle is all about. It's just really comfortable. It's nice and quiet. The suspension is nice and compliant. There is an adjustable suspension on this vehicle as well, so you can raise it, lower it. When you put it in dynamic mode versus comfort versus eco, it has its own different setting that also controls the steering wheel feel and the throttle response. Especially in that eco mode, you really notice that. So it has a lot of different settings for the suspension to aid it in that comfortability. But even in dynamic mode, it is not uncomfortable whatsoever. Now, of course, this is an electric vehicle, so let's just quickly talk about range here. Now, this is the regular GT model, so this is what's going to get you the most amount of range. And we charged this one up to 100%. When I woke up this morning, it said 246 miles. Audi has a claimed 249 miles for the vehicle. Now, of course, that's all about how you drive, weather conditions, so many different conditions to assist with that number. But I would say between 220 and 240 is what you will get at 100% state of charge. Now, you never want to always charge it to 100% state of charge. That can hurt the battery over time. 80% is about the max that they want you to have it at normally. And at about 80%, you're looking at about 190 miles of range. I don't like to get into the range talk on electric vehicles because it's really subjective. It really depends on the type of driver that you are, how much you drive, if you're charging at home or you have to take it to a supercharge or a fast charger or something. It really just depends. For what you get for the vehicle, I think 240 is actually pretty good. I don't drive too much at all. If this was my personal vehicle, it would not bother me whatsoever. So let me go ahead and apologize in advance. I was having some trouble with my mic while recording, and toward the end of the video, my mic just went completely out. So the rest of the video I do not have, but I did want to go ahead and finish up with my final thoughts here. Really, my biggest question was, is this car better than its sister, the Porsche Taycan? In short answer, yes. I believe that it looks better. Now, they do say the driving dynamics of the Porsche Taycan is better. I have not had an opportunity to drive one just yet, hopefully soon. But when I think about driving dynamics, I think about everything. And when you think about those hard buttons in the Audi, that's a win for me. I'm not a big fan of touch screens and things of that nature. Also, you see the Porsche Taycans everywhere, especially I filmed this car in the Atlanta market. I had to pass, I don't know how many Porsches on the way there, from Panameras to just everything. So you see so many Taycans on the road as well. The E-Tron looks unique. It is unique. And again, I think it's the best looking EV on the market right now. So is it better? Absolutely. Also did a really quick test of the B&O audio system. Amazing system, amazing. It sounds great. Lots of clarity. Never had to cut it up all the way because it'll just blow you out the vehicle. The treble, bass, everything just works so well together. Overall, it's just a great vehicle, and I think the best choice you can make if you're in the market for an upmarket EV.